Yeah, honestly, I've been working really hard to get back to full health, and I feel like probably over these last couple of weeks is when I've probably started.
Caitlin Clark's arrival in the WNBA was never going to be quiet. It was destined to be a seismic event, a shockwave that would ripple through the entire sports world. But no one, not even the most seasoned analysts, could have predicted the storm that was about to break. As she prepares for her next high-stakes showdown against the Dallas Wings, a silent war is brewing, one that transcends the box score and the win-loss column. It's a conflict being fought in the shadows of the game, a deeply personal battle against a formidable figure from her team's own past. A message is being sent, without a single word spoken, aimed with laser precision directly at Wings coach Stephanie White. What Clark is about to do next won't just be for the fans in the arena or for her teammates beside her. It's a direct and audacious challenge to the very foundation of the franchise she was drafted to save. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about power, legacy, and the cold, hard reality of a hostile takeover. The story that's unfolding is one of a phenom's defiance against an architect's legacy, and the collision course they are on is about to reach its explosive climax, revealing a truth far more complex and compelling than a simple rivalry. The pressure on Caitlin Clark, from the moment her name was called on draft night, was a weight that could crush mountains. It was an impossible, unprecedented burden that no athlete, male or female, had ever shouldered in quite the same way. She wasn't just the #1 pick. She was a cultural phenomenon, a walking, breathing media conglomerate anointed as the savior of the WNBA before she ever laced up her sneakers for a professional game. The Clark effect was real and staggering. Ticket prices for Fever games skyrocketed, rivaling those of major NBA matchups. Games were being moved to larger arenas just to accommodate the tidal wave of demand. Networks like ESPN were shattering their viewership records for WNBA broadcasts, all because of one player. Her jersey sold out in hours, not just outselling other players, but entire established teams across multiple sports. This wasn't just hype, it was an economic revolution balanced precariously on a 22-year-old's shoulders. But with that global attention came an immense and menacing target. Every single player in the league, particularly the veterans who had scratched and clawed for years for a fraction of this recognition, was waiting for her. The narrative spun by the media was simple. Caitlin Clark was here to take over. But the league's established stars had a different story in mind, one written in bruises and frustration. They saw the endless praise, the narrative that she was single-handedly bigger than the league itself, and they were ready to give her a brutal, unforgiving reality check. The target on her back wasn't just big, it was colossal. From the very first game, she was met with a level of physicality that bordered on hostile. Hip checks away from the ball, relentless shoves to disrupt her path, and a constant barrage of verbal taunts were the norm. Every opponent, every coach, and every hostile crowd wanted to be the one to break the phenom, to prove she couldn't handle the grit and grind of the professional game. Her first few weeks were a trial by fire, a relentless gauntlet of physical punishment and mental warfare designed explicitly to see if she would crack under the immense pressure. But this intense scrutiny and open hostility was only setting the stage for a conflict far more personal and intricate, one that connected her directly to the very history of the Indiana Fever. And that history has a name: Stephanie White. To truly understand the gravity of this impending showdown, you have to peel back the layers and know exactly who Stephanie White is to the Indiana Fever. She isn't just another opposing coach on the schedule. She is a ghost of the franchise's past, a foundational piece of its very identity, and a legend in the state of Indiana. Long before Caitlin Clark was selling out arenas and breaking records, Stephanie White was the one who laid the first bricks of the organization. After a storied playing career, which included being named Indiana's Miss Basketball and a national champion at Purdue. Her connection to the state's basketball-crazed culture was already solidified. When she took the helm, she wasn't just a coach, she was an icon. She was the inaugural head coach for the Indiana Fever, the person tasked with the monumental job of building the team from the ground up, shaping its culture, and setting the standards for a brand new professional franchise. Her legacy is woven into the very fabric of the team Clark now leads. When White stands on the opposing sideline and looks at the Fever's jerseys, she doesn't just see another opponent, she sees the house she built, now inhabited by a new superstar, destined to rewrite its history and, perhaps, erase her own. This adds a profoundly personal layer of complexity to their matchup that goes far beyond X's and O's. It's a battle of pride and legacy. White knows the intense pressures of that organization, the fervent expectations of that city, and the very DNA of that team better than almost anyone. She represents the old guard, the original architect who took the team to the WNBA Finals but couldn't secure the ultimate prize. And now, she stands on the opposing sideline, orchestrating a calculated attack against the very player meant to elevate her former team to heights she never could. This wasn't just a game between the Dallas Wings and the Indiana Fever. It was a silent, simmering battle between the franchise's past and its explosive, unapologetic future. And their first encounter this season was nothing short of a declaration of war. The first time Caitlin Clark faced a Stephanie White-coached team, the message from the veteran coach was delivered loud, clear, and without a shred of subtlety. It was a calculated, methodical, and brutal welcome to the unforgiving world of professional basketball. From the opening tip, the Dallas Wings swarmed Clark with a level of coordinated physicality she had yet to truly experience. It wasn't just one defender, it was a team-wide assault. They hounded her the full 94 feet of the court, bumping her off her path, getting a hand in her face on every dribble, and making every single possession a grueling, energy-sapping battle. This wasn't just tough defense, it was a strategic dismantling, orchestrated by a coach who knew exactly where to apply pressure to make a rookie phenom unravel. White's game plan was a masterclass in exploiting a young player's weaknesses. She threw aggressive double teams and hard traps at Clark the moment she crossed half-court, forcing the ball out of her hands and daring her less experienced teammates to make plays under pressure. The defensive assignments were clear: be physical, be relentless, and live in her airspace. Players like Satou Sabally and Natasha Howard used their veteran strength to body her, ensuring every screen was met with a solid hit. The result was a night of pure frustration for Clark, filled with uncharacteristic turnovers, forced shots, and visible agitation. The Fever ended up losing the game, but the final score was almost secondary. The real story was the painful lesson being taught on the court. Stephanie White had sent a powerful message to Clark and the entire league. Your college highlights and your three-point range mean nothing here. This league is a different beast, and I know exactly how to break you. It was a strategic checkmate, a public display meant to prove that the phenom was, in fact, human and vulnerable. But that brutal loss, designed to intimidate and diminish her, did something nobody, perhaps not even White herself, could have possibly expected. It didn't break Clark. It ignited a furious, unquenchable fire. That night of struggle was the catalyst for a stunning transformation, setting the stage for a silent, powerful, and shocking response. This brewing conflict goes far beyond a single player and a single coach. It's a war being fought on multiple fronts, with key lieutenants executing the battle plan. On one side, you have Stephanie White, the veteran strategist, the chess master, using her deep institutional knowledge of the game to try and contain a force of nature. Her primary weapon on the court, her queen on the board, is Arike Ogunbowale, the fiery, explosive superstar of the Dallas Wings. Ogunbowale is one of the league's most lethal and clutch scorers, a player with ice in her veins, who lives for the pressure of big moments and fears absolutely no one. She is the on-court extension of White's competitive will, a fierce, unapologetic competitor who perfectly embodies the aggressive, relentless style of play that White wants to use against Clark. Ogunbowale's matchup with Clark isn't just about trading baskets, it's a visceral battle of alpha personalities, a fight for who will dominate the spotlight and dictate the terms of engagement. Every time they are on the court together, you can feel the palpable tension, the unspoken challenge between two of the game's most electrifying and confident guards. Ogunbowale's hard-nosed, get-to-the-rim style is a direct contrast to Clark's long-range artistry, creating a classic clash of styles. On the other side is Caitlin Clark, no longer just the heralded rookie, but now the undisputed leader of a young, hungry, and rapidly improving Indiana Fever team. She isn't just fighting for her own stats anymore, she's fighting to prove that her era has officially arrived and that her team is a legitimate threat. This is about shifting the balance of power in the league. The rivalry is deeply symbolic. White and Ogunbowale represent the established order, the tough, gritty veterans who believe respect is earned through hardship, not given by media hype. Clark represents the new wave, the revolution, the undeniable talent that threatens to tear that old order down. The court has become their battlefield, and the narrative is chillingly simple. The past versus the future, for the soul and identity of the Indiana Fever. Something fundamental and profound shifted within Caitlin Clark after that first punishing encounter with Stephanie White's team. The player who walked off the court that night, visibly frustrated and publicly humbled, was not the same one who stepped back on for the following games. A quiet, terrifying metamorphosis was taking place in real time. Instead of shying away from the physicality that was meant to deter her, she began to embrace it, even initiate it. She started lowering her shoulder on drives to the basket, using her body to create space in a way she hadn't before. She was playing with a controlled ferocity, a grit that began to catch her opponents completely off guard. The turnovers, while still a part of her aggressive style, became less frequent as she learned to read the complex professional defensive schemes being thrown at her, making quicker decisions and anticipating traps before they could fully form. And then, the record started to fall, in a stunning cascade. She became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 200 points and 50 assists, a feat that put her in a category all by herself. She then shattered another record, becoming the quickest ever to notch 300 points, 100 rebounds, and 100 assists. She wasn't just scoring anymore. She was conducting the entire offense with the precision of a seasoned maestro, delivering jaw-dropping, no-look passes that elevated the play of everyone around her. This was her silent, calculated response. This was the beginning of her true message. Every record she broke, every defense she methodically carved apart, and every single time she got knocked down, only to get back up stronger, was a new chapter in the story she was writing. A story that declared she was far more than just a shooter. She was a leader, a warrior, and she was adapting to the pro game faster than anyone thought possible. The rest of the league was watching. The fans were watching. And you can be DMN sure Stephanie White was watching, realizing with a growing sense of unease that the rookie she thought she had figured out was rapidly evolving into something far more dangerous and unstoppable. As Caitlin Clark's game evolved at a blistering pace, so too did the intricate narrative being woven by the opposing sideline. Stephanie White, a sharp and media-savvy coach, continued to play a brilliant game of public chess. In her press conferences leading up to their next matchup, she would eloquently praise Clark's once-in-a-generation talent, acknowledging her incredible court vision, her limitless range, and her profound impact on the sport. She'd call her great for the league and speak about the Clark effect with a tone of deep respect and admiration. But hidden underneath this veneer of praise was a subtle, strategic, and powerful subtext. For every compliment, White would consistently and cleverly pivot to mentioning the challenges of being a rookie, the steep learning curve of the WNBA, and the crucial adjustments needed to achieve long-term success at the professional level. She was simultaneously building Clark up in the public eye, while reminding the world, and perhaps more importantly, Clark herself, that she was still a rookie, still prone to mistakes, still vulnerable to a well-executed game plan. It was a masterclass in psychological warfare. By openly acknowledging Clark's immense talent, she avoided giving Clark and her team any easy bulletin board material to rally around. But by subtly and repeatedly highlighting the flaws and the learning process, she was sending a coded message to her own team. The Phenom is beatable. She was framing the matchup not as an unwinnable battle against a media-created superstar, but as a tactical problem to be solved with discipline and physicality. In her mind, she was the veteran master, and Clark was the prodigious student who still had critical lessons to learn. And Stephanie White fully intended to be the one to teach them, setting the stage for a second showdown where she planned to prove, once and for all, that superior strategy and veteran experience could triumph over raw, explosive talent. The entire league was waiting to see what new defensive wrinkle she would unveil next. And this is where the shocking message, the one that has been building since that very first bruising encounter, is finally and irrevocably delivered. It won't be leaked in a press conference, it won't be yelled in a heated exchange on the court, and it certainly won't be found in a private text message. Caitlin Clark's true message to Stephanie White will be sent on the hardwood under the brightest lights for the entire world to see. It's a message conveyed not through words, but through relentless, undeniable, and dominant action. The message is this: the rookie you tried to break is gone, and she's not coming back. Every single time Clark now navigates a perfectly executed double team and finds an open teammate for an easy basket, she is sending a message. Every time she absorbs a hard, intentional foul, gets back up off the floor without complaint, and calmly sinks both free throws with ice in her veins, she is sending a message. Every record-breaking performance isn't just a personal statistic. It's a direct and defiant statement, a testament to her relentless growth and her unbreakable will. The most shocking part of this message is its deeply personal target. It's aimed squarely at Stephanie White, the original architect of the Indiana Fever's past. Clark's ascendant performance is a living, breathing declaration that the franchise is no longer defined by its history or its previous limitations. It is being forged in her image, right now, in real time. Her every move on the court screams, "The team you built is now mine, and I am taking it to a place you never could." It's a stunning, audacious, and silent claim, made not with words, but with a basketball. She is proving that she is not just the future of the league, but its dominant present. And she is doing it by systematically dismantling the very strategies that were designed to stop her, turning her supposed weaknesses into undeniable, game-breaking strengths. This isn't just a game anymore. It's the hostile takeover of a franchise's identity, led by its new, unshakable, and unapologetic queen. So, as the Indiana Fever and the Dallas Wings prepare to face off once again, the stakes have been raised to an almost unbearable level. This is far more than just another game on the WNBA calendar. It is a profound collision of eras, a deeply personal duel between the past and the future for the very soul of a franchise. On one side stands Stephanie White, the brilliant strategist, the original architect of the Fever, armed with a tough, veteran team and a meticulously crafted game plan designed to expose every remaining flaw in a rookie's armor. She represents legacy, hard-earned experience, and the established order of the league. On the other side is Caitlin Clark, the phenom who has not only weathered the initial storm, but has used its energy to become stronger, tougher, and more determined than ever before. She represents a revolution, a new era of basketball, and is in the process of delivering a silent, powerful message that she will not be intimidated, she will not be broken, and she will not be denied. This next game is the ultimate test, the final exam. It has become a referendum on whether calculated, veteran experience can still contain a once-in-a-generation talent that is evolving at an unprecedented rate. Will Stephanie White's masterful chess game once again put the young star in check, proving that wisdom and strategy still reign supreme? Or will Caitlin Clark's undeniable force and relentless evolution finally and completely overwhelm the master, signaling a permanent shift in the league's balance of power? The message has been sent, the battle lines are drawn, and the entire basketball world is holding its breath, waiting to see who will be left standing when that final, deafening buzzer sounds.